Today we have our 2026 Elimination Chamber predictions. And we're starting this one off with a big one because we have Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee. And this is a big match, obviously a legend in AJ Lee and a future legend in Becky Lynch and current Intercontinental Champion in Becky Lynch, so this will be for that title. I do kind of expect Becky to win this one, but with the feud that they had kind of building into this one kind of been a little bit on the boring side. There's not really a whole lot of heat going into this.
Yeah, for me, this entire show is kind of a lot of predictability throughout the entire night. However, that doesn't mean it's going to be a bad thing. Obviously, match quality can still be great. However, this one, like you kind of said, does feel like Becky will just win this. I do think if we will see AJ win it eventually, it'll probably be at WrestleMania instead. It could be here tonight. I wouldn't be too surprised, but I do think Becky Lynch will continue this reign and will go into something kind of bigger, kind of going into Mania. Because also AJ Lee is somebody who, for whatever reason, hasn't been around as often. It'll be an interesting match nonetheless.
Yeah, I could potentially see a multi-woman match for that Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. We'll probably have a video about that in due time. One last kind of final early prediction for WrestleMania for y'all. But going into the second match we have is CM Punk versus Finn Balor. And this one is an absolute banger. This is two of my personal favorites of all time going in for a World Heavyweight Championship match. Now, unfortunately for Finn Balor, he is going to lose. We all know what's going to happen. Dominic Mysterio potentially is going to cost him and kind of lead towards an IC title at WrestleMania between the two. So that could be very interesting at the very least. But I do expect the match to be very good. Punk built this up pretty well. Finn Balor did it as well too with the attack on him and AJ Styles before AJ retired. So I am excited for it. I do think the match was really good. I just hope that they do something good with Finn Balor, because this was a really big moment. So it'd be a shame to kind of do all this for nothing and put him right back where he was previous to this.
Yeah, I do agree that the entire build of this match has been good due to the fact that we already have a match at WrestleMania announced where the World Heavyweight Champion that's on the line in this match is already going to be defended. We know who it's going to be versus. So, yeah, unfortunately for Finn, with everything going on, it's kind of bad timing, but this match will be great. The first match in Ireland was amazing. We go back to Chicago for CM Punk's home field advantage game, and, yeah, should be a really fun one. Like I said, do think CM Punk will walk out on top and, yeah, hopefully retain and go on to play one more match before we see him have his big one at WrestleMania.
And before we get into our official Elimination Chamber match predictions, we're going to talk about the big mystery box that appeared on Raw a few weeks back, appeared on SmackDown, went back to Raw, back to SmackDown, and now we are finally going to get the big reveal of it. I guess the final question is, who do you think is going to be in it, or what do you think is going to be in it?
It could be almost any and everything, but no one will know. We obviously have a little bit of information about it, just in terms of that will be both Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce in opening up the package. But yeah, for as to who it's going to be, it can be a few people. I could see it being kind of a repackaged like kind of person, whether that is like an Omos. It is a pretty big box, maybe he is. But on the kind of flip side of that, the box has no holes, so whoever this human being is inside this box will probably not be alive anymore. So yeah, unfortunately for that person. I think it's a very weird setup to have this big angle on Elimination Chamber. So yeah, don't know who will be. If I had to give a guess, I'm going to go with some type of statue for a CM Punk in Chicago.
I'm going to go with a Chris Jericho tease. I think there'll be his Titantron in there. I think his jacket will be in there. Maybe his list is in there. A couple little teases towards that potentially, because I'm with you. I don't really know who it's going to be. A rumor has been Danhausen. I think that would be really fun if it's just going to be like a little quick thing and it's not meant to be too much and it's not going to take up too much time. It's not this big 20-minute segment or something. I think Danhausen would be a fun one. I'm a fan of Danhausen. You see the figure in the background over here, so I am a fan of Danhausen, so I might be a little bit biased towards that. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't like that though. But the box is very interesting. I am interested to see what's going to happen from it and why they built it up so much. Is it some big debuting person? Maybe it's Royce Keys, because he hasn't really debuted yet, so potentially it's him. But I guess we'll find out this weekend at Elimination Chamber. Now on to our official Elimination Chamber match predictions. We're going to start with our women's one, and we have Tiffany Stratton versus Rhea Ripley versus Alexa Bliss versus Asuka, Kiana James, and Raquel Rodriguez. Now this is a very interesting match. Obviously we have the surprising loss of Charlotte Flair. We thought for sure she was like a lot to be into this match, but she did lose and Kiana James got that final spot. So that's a very cool moment for Kiana to kind of get in there last minute like that. The last person get in from SmackDown at least. So very interesting choice there. And then as well on the next Raw, we seen Raquel Rodriguez pick up the win over Io Sky, another person who we all thought was just a lot to be in there. Who is your pick to win this and kind of take this one home? Because this is a very interesting kind of pool of people here.
For me, I'm looking at two people here. And it's going to be Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez. For me, obviously, Rhea Ripley is the biggest star on the women's side of things in the entire wrestling industry right now. So it's obviously an easy run to just say, have her win. She goes to Mania, has a big match, because that's what she deserves, that's what she is. But you can go Raquel Rodriguez. We have this story where Liv Morgan has a world championship match. You can do something where she, while Liv Morgan's going after her title, and Raquel can win hers first or something like that. There's something cool you can do there. But I do think I'm just going to go Rhea Ripley. Unfortunately for Tiffany Stratton, obviously, if she is going to go after Jade Cargill, it would just feel really weird for Jade's second or third title match is just another rematch of the person she beat it from. And then Asuka, Alexa, Kiana, I don't really just see them going after a world championship right now.
Yeah, I fully agree as far as Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez being the pretty much only two that's a real winner here. I know Alexa Bliss is there. You kind of could see her there. Potentially even a Tiffany Stratton getting a rematch with Jade Cargill. But I do agree that it's mostly Rhea Ripley and Raquel. But I'm going to go with Raquel just because we kind of built up this storyline just talking off camera and stuff that Raquel actually doesn't go after Jade, but she goes after Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer to kind of make that a triple threat, finish that big feud off that she kind of has with the both of them at this point. She's kind of hiding the animosity she has behind Liv Morgan at the moment, but you know that the tension is there and she wants to kind of get her hands on her into some capacity at least. So I do hope that happens. That'd be a very interesting take on an Elimination Chamber win. We've never seen that happen. That would open up the floodgates for Jade Cargill to potentially be a Charlotte Flair or maybe some kind of multi-woman match where Io could get in there as well. It'd be a very interesting thing if they were to do that and let Raquel go after the Raw title with Liv Morgan rather than kind of combining them together with the Judgment Day and potentially having both titles leaving Mania. And then for the final match, we have the men's Elimination Chamber match where we have Randy Orton, LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and Jey Uso to finish it off. So another very interesting pool of people. These are all really big name people, big name players in the WWE at the moment. Randy Orton's a legend. LA Knight's like this rising, bubbling person who never really got that big opportunity yet. Cody Rhodes, he's Cody Rhodes, of course. Javon Evans and Trick Williams are both the new rising people who just came up from NXT. So for both of those people to be in it is amazing. And then obviously Jey Uso, he's Jey Uso. He's going to get in there. He's going to yeet. He's going to run it back on top of one of the pods at some point. So it'll be what it's going to be with him. But yeah, a pretty stacked Elimination Chamber. I like the field, but the field in terms of winners seems a little bit light.
Yeah, it's definitely another case of being narrowed down to kind of a few people. Cody Rhodes is obviously similar to the Rhea situation where, he's one of the top people. He's going to be in that potential winning category. I know like I have been saying LA Knight. I personally don't see it right now. I don't think we're going to see him go after Drew McIntyre in the World Championship match. But the other guy I'm kind of looking at is Randy Orton, just because, he is somebody who I do think they want him to kind of get another World Champion or two before he does call it quits himself. So, yeah, this could be a time to do it. You can eventually run the championship match between him and Cody to kind of set up, their first match between each other since Cody has returned. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Cody Rhodes. It's the easy route, but it's the one that's already been kind of talked about. We've got the hints of it. Cody wants to get this rematch, but he can't challenge Drew for it. So it'll be interesting how that works. But I think it will be a very interesting case of who will win the night.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a kind of an interesting take. I'm going to go with Cody Rhodes losing just because, I just don't want him to win, basically. So I'm going to go with Cody Rhodes eliminates Randy Orton. Randy Orton gets mad, RKOs him, maybe even punts him if you want to, take it that far. Maybe you save that for WrestleMania because the WrestleMania match I have for Cody is Randy Orton, a non-title match. So that'll open up the field for this and leave someone cool to win because Randy Orton got eliminated by Cody and then Randy Orton helped someone else eliminate Cody. So now the field is open for one of the other men to win it, which Jey Uso, you could do a really good tease like, oh my god, Jey Uso is gonna win, but then maybe a Trick Williams gets a big moment, maybe a Javon Evans gets a big moment, but the person I'm gonna go with is LA Knight. And I'm not even a huge fan of LA Knight myself, but he does deserve it. He's super over, he has a lot of fans behind him, and I think it would be a kind of really good swerve if he were to win. But also I wouldn't really mind a Trick one, but I am gonna make my official pick LA Knight because Trick is kind of the same thing as LA Knight. Honestly, he's really over, came in hot, and why not give him the world title immediately, let him have that big match with Drew McIntyre. But my final pick is LA Knight to win the men's Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, if you ask me who I wanted to win, I would definitely go with Javon and Trick. Definitely the two young guys who definitely deserve one big opportunity, especially at this year's Mania, which the field is open, kind of like how you mentioned. And, a lot of people could go after Drew McIntyre, or if kind of what we talked about for the Liv and Raquel match, you could say the same thing for the men's one. Maybe we do see the Elimination Chamber winner get his nose into that CM Punk into Roman Reigns match. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff you could do. And I think the night would definitely have some very interesting and kind of controversial outcomes.
Yeah, potential debut of a new star with the box. Some new winners and the official WrestleMania matches will be announced after this night. So a very interesting night here to come. And then after at Raw and SmackDown after this as well will be very interesting. But WrestleMania is shaping up and this video is over. So we'll catch you guys in the next one.